Welcome into Big 12 Big Football Week number 5. I'm Aaron Pryor, and we're going to get right into it. We've got too much to unpack to waste any time. I want to talk about what's got my attention this morning. It's West Virginia headed to Lubbock to take on Texas Tech. Both teams come into this matchup coming off of big wins to open conference play last week. So, where do we start? If you're familiar with the Texas Tech program, you know Coach Holgorsen was the wide receivers coach from 2000 to 2004 when Cliff Kingsbury was lighting it up in Mike Leach's air raid offense. A few more stops down the road, and now they're entering their 6th matchup against each other as head coaches. A lot of coaches are friends with each other off the field from either working with each other in the past or crossing paths somewhere else in their career. So I asked Coach Holgorsen what it's like going head-to-head with a friend on the other sideline, and his answer won't surprise you.
Makes you want to beat him more. Have that with Cliff as well. You know, everybody understands that me and I coach Cliff and very close with him as well. So you want to beat him even more. But you want to go give him a big hug after the game as well.
Coaches call the plays, but it's the players that have to execute, and boy, do we have a big matchup in Lubbock this morning. Texas Tech not only leads the nation in the passing game, but in total offense as well. They also put up half 100 points per game. Look, I'm a big stats guy, and those numbers are crazy impressive. But what's even more impressive to me is that the Red Raiders are getting this kind of production out of its underclassmen. You're starting to hear more and more about Alan Bowman, another freshman quarterback lighting it up under Cliff Kingsbury. Tech's young players had to grow up fast, and even guys like Antoine Wesley and Jadion High are getting significant playing time now and are certainly making the most of it.
You know, at Texas Tech, we have a history of having talented, skilled players, and we lost some great ones last year, but we felt like we have some really good ones kind of waiting in the wings for their turn to step up, and so I'm excited to see who steps up. We know we have the talent. It's just about who's going to go out there and make plays when the lights are on. So I wouldn't say it's a challenge. It's more just exciting to see these young guys that have been waiting their time to get a chance to go play.
On the other sideline, I could easily talk about how great Will Greer is playing and how David Sills is 6th in the country in TD catches. But I want to focus on the other side of the ball here because West Virginia very sneakily has been an excellent defensive team to the tune of only giving up 12.3 points per game. And a big part of that has been the play of David Long Jr. The 5'11 junior wreaked havoc last weekend against Kansas State. 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, and the Mountaineers win. He's 5th in the country with 22 solo tackles and someone that Coach Holgorsen described as unblockable.
His pad level is unbelievable. He's a fierce competitor. He's smart, he's nasty, he's mean, but his pad level is unbelievable. It's fun watching a guy make a tackle in the backfield 5, 6, 7 times a game. So, you know, like I said, you can't block him, and I think he's the best linebacker in the country.
Again, kick for that game is at 11 a.m. Central Time. Now, let's take a look at the rest of the schedule for the day. Kansas will host Oklahoma State while Baylor heads to Norman. Texas travels to Manhattan, and in the night game, Iowa State looks to keep the momentum going as they head to TCU. And speaking of Iowa State, the Cyclones this year are a team that want to keep momentum going, keep those expectations high. Zeb Nolan has come in and been an extremely efficient quarterback for Matt Campbell, completing nearly 69% of his passes, and David Montgomery went over the 100-yard mark this past weekend for the first time this year. But one guy I don't think enough people are talking about is Hakeem Butler. The junior is averaging 99 receiving yards per game and has made a couple of highlight reel-type touchdown catches this year. Coming into the season, the Cyclones had to figure out how to replace guys like Marchie Murdoch and Alan Lazard. Not so easy to do, but Coach Campbell made it clear that they were ready for this.
You know, Deshaunte Jones comes back, who had a tremendous freshman year and, you know, made some big plays in critical moments for us a year ago as a sophomore. And then Hakeem Butler, who, you know, really had an outstanding, you know, junior year or sophomore year a year ago. And then, you know, a guy like Matt Eaton, who even got the taste of some big game moments, you know, for us and having some true success. So, you know, I think we feel really good about what that group looks like and embodies because it's kind of been recruited to a purpose.
Baylor will head to Oklahoma to play a Sooner team that will present the toughest test to this point for the Bears. BU is coming off a win over Kansas where their defense held the Jayhawks to 122 yards on the ground. 72 of those yards came on one play by potential Freshman of the Year candidate Puka Williams. The Baylor D-line notched 3 of the 4 sacks in the game and was a position Matt Rule stressed in the offseason would need to be an important part if the Bears wanted to have success this year.
I think the key is to build enough depth that we can play a bunch of guys. We can play, 10, 12 defensive linemen in a game, just roll them out there and have them all do their job, stop the run and find a way to go affect the quarterback.
The Baylor run game is also starting to shape up. The Bears ran for 190 yards on 39 carries last week. That's an average of 4.9 yards per carry, and definitely something they're going to want to keep rolling into Norman this week. Now let's put a bow on it. Top plays from week 4 coming at you. Number 3, there's going to be a theme with these top plays this week. Baylor, Kansas, Josh Fleeks from Charlie Brewer. The Bears are 3-1 to start the year. Number 2, Colin Johnson, late third quarter, leaping grab from Sam Ellinger to give Texas the lead. And number 1 for the second week in a row, Hakeem Butler. Just watch this.
Nolan has a wide open receiver, and offended as he dives to the goal line is Hakeem Butler. What's the ruling? Looks like he is into the end zone for an Iowa State touchdown.
That's it for Big 12 Big Football this week. I hope you'd enjoyed it, and we'll see you next Saturday. For the Big 12 Conference, I'm Aaron Pryor.